Ladies and gentlemen, armies across the globe, welcome to the year 2026. We are living in a timeline where the Bangtan boys have transcended mere stardom to become absolute legends of the music industry. They've conquered the Billboard charts, completed their national duties with honor, and solidified their status as global moguls. But there is one burning question that still keeps the fandom awake at night. What exactly captures their hearts now? Specifically when we look toward the diverse and dynamic women of the United States. After spending nearly a decade flying between Seoul, Los Angeles, and New York, soaking in the Western culture during their solo eras and massive stadium tours, their perspectives on love have evolved, matured, and become incredibly specific. We are not talking about simple crushes anymore. We are talking about soul connections. In this exclusive countdown, we are about to unravel the top 7 American ideal types that drive BTS wild in this modern era. Who among the 7 is secretly looking for a high-powered, ambitious CEO type from the concrete jungle of Manhattan? Who is yearning for a free-spirited bohemian artist soaking up the sunny vibes of California? And which member is actually dreaming of a quiet intellectual life with a poetic girl next door from the suburbs? The answers are shocking, the details are intimate, and the specificities of their tastes might just blow your mind. Are you ready to decode the secrets of their mature hearts? Buckle up and keep your eyes peeled, because this countdown is going to change everything you thought you knew about their romance. Number 7. Jin. The sophisticated Manhattan muse, a taste of high society. Here we go, kicking off our countdown at number 7 with the Taehyung of the group, the man whose face card never declines even in 2026, Kim Sek-jin. You might remember him as the playful, chaotic energy of the past, but look at him now. He has aged like the finest wine in a cellar, exuding an aura of expensive elegance that demands a partner who can match that specific frequency of luxury and wit. In 2026, Jin isn't looking for a teenage crush, he is looking for a queen, and his ideal American woman is the epitome of the sophisticated Manhattan muse. Picture this, the bustling streets of New York City, the concrete jungle where dreams are made, and there she is, walking out of a brownstone in the Upper East Side or perhaps a high-rise in Tribeca, radiating that distinct old-money American confidence that absolutely floors him. This isn't about flashiness, it's about that quiet, intellectual American confidence, a woman who has her own career, perhaps in art curation, publishing, or high-end gastronomy. Why does this specific American archetype rank here for Jin? Because in 2026, Jin craves a dynamic that is equal parts grounding and stimulating. He needs a woman who can handle the worldwide handsome persona with a smirk, someone who isn't dazzled by the fame because she has her own empire to run. Imagine the dynamic. She speaks with that fast-paced, witty New York cadence, challenging his dad jokes with dry, sarcastic American humor that leaves him laughing in disbelief. We're talking about a woman who knows the best hidden Michelin star restaurants in the city, not because they are trendy, but because she appreciates the culinary art form just as much as he does. The connection here is built on the universal language of food and comfort, but elevated to a luxurious standard. Visualize a date night in 2026. It's not a loud club, it's a private rooftop dinner overlooking the Hudson River. Jin is grilling because, let's be honest, he still loves to feed people. But the conversation isn't about idle life, it's about real estate, the latest Broadway play she dragged him to, or the nuances of American wine versus Korean soju. This American woman brings a boldness that balances his traditional roots. She is direct, she tells him when he's being ridiculous, and that transparency is exactly what he finds refreshing. She is the type who can host a dinner party for dignitaries with grace, wearing a sleek evening gown, and then 5 minutes later be in sweatpants eating instant ramen with him while playing video games. It's that duality of the American lifestyle, the hustle and the chill, that captivates him. She gives him the space to just be Sek-jin, the guy who likes fishing and gaming, rather than Jin, the superstar. The emotional anchor here is stability. He doesn't want drama. He wants a partner who is self-sufficient. This Manhattan muse doesn't need him for money or clout. She chooses him because he's funny, kind, and handsome. That specific validation, stripped of the idol worship, is the ultimate aphrodisiac for him in 2026. She understands the Western entertainment industry, perhaps navigating the social circles of the Met Gala or New York Fashion Week, making them a true power couple that turns heads not just in Seoul, but on Fifth Avenue. It's a relationship that feels like a romantic comedy movie set in autumn in New York. Long walks in Central Park with autumn leaves falling, holding hands while wearing matching trench coats, creating a picture of domestic bliss that feels attainable yet incredibly exclusive. This selection at number 7 sets the tone for our list because it highlights a massive shift. The boys aren't boys anymore. They are men seeking partners who are their equals. And for Jin, that equal is a sharp-witted, elegant, food-loving American woman who holds the keys to the city and ultimately the keys to his heart. Number 6. J-Hope. The LA's street-style visionary, a rhythm of pure soul. Moving down the list to number 6, we encounter the heartbeat of BTS, the dance commander, the man who seamlessly blends high fashion with street grit, Jungkook. By 2026, J-Hope has fully evolved from the bright sunshine of the early days into a mature, complex artistic force. Think Jack in the Box meets the sophisticated Louis Vuitton ambassador, but with an added layer of post-military grit and worldly wisdom. His ideal American woman in this futuristic timeline isn't just a partner. She is a muse, a creative equal, and she embodies the archetype of the LA street-style visionary. We are transporting you straight to the sun-drenched, palm-lined boulevards of Los Angeles, specifically the eclectic artistic pockets of Silver Lake or the Arts District. This woman is the definition of West Coast cool, but stripped of the superficiality. She is an artist in her own right, perhaps a renowned choreographer who runs an underground studio, a streetwear designer rewriting the rules of fashion on Fairfax Avenue, or a visual director working on the cutting edge of music videos. Why does this specific American vibe resonate so deeply with Hobie in 2026? Because J-Hope breathes rhythm and style, and he needs a woman who speaks that same unspoken language. Picture her. She isn't wearing a stiff cocktail dress. She's rocking vintage oversized cargo pants, rare sneaker drops that even Hobie has trouble finding, and a cropped hoodie that screams effortless swagger. She captures that quintessentially American spirit of individualistic expression. In 2026, Hosak is drawn to her because she understands the grind. The American entertainment industry is brutal and fast, and this woman has navigated it with her integrity intact. She matches his meticulous nature. Remember, J-Hope is incredibly organized and detail-oriented, but she brings a breezy Californian looseness that helps him unwind. The chemistry here is kinetic. Imagine them together. It's not a candlelit dinner, it's a late-night drive down the Pacific Coast Highway in a vintage convertible, the wind in their hair, listening to old-school West Coast hip-hop, dissecting the beats and the flows. Or picture a date at a dusty, hidden thrift store in Melrose, where they spend hours hunting for vintage denim and rare accessories, styling each other, laughing over the absurdity of fashion, while simultaneously respecting the art of it. She is the type of woman who can walk into a dance practice room and not just watch, but move with him, understanding that dance is how he processes his emotions. This American ideal provides him with a sanctuary where he doesn't have to explain his passion, she just gets it. She sees the shadow behind the sunshine. In 2026, Hobie doesn't need a cheerleader, he needs a collaborator. This woman challenges him creatively, pushing him to explore new sounds and new aesthetics. She is bold, vocal about her opinions, a trait often associated with American women that Hobie finds incredibly attractive because it cuts through the noise. She tells him the truth about his work, she critiques his outfits with love, and she pushes him to be better.
It's a relationship fueled by mutual inspiration, caffeine runs to trendy LA coffee shops, and deep philosophical conversations about the legacy they want to leave behind. She represents the freedom he has always chased, the freedom to be weird, to be loud, to be colorful, and to be unapologetically himself. She is the grounding force that turns the chaotic energy of Los Angeles into a home for him, making the vastness of the US feel intimate and personal. This isn't just a crush, it's a partnership of two souls vibrating on the exact same creative frequency, proving that in 2026, love for J-Hope is found in the rhythm of the streets and the heart of an artist who isn't afraid to shine just as bright as he does.
Number 5. Suga, the Pacific Northwest indie soul, a melody of silence. Landing quietly but powerfully at number 5, we find the genius producer, the man whose silence speaks louder than screams, Min Yoongi, also known as Suga. In 2026, Yoongi has ascended beyond the title of a K-pop idol. He is a global music mogul, a reverence-commanding figure similar to the likes of Ryuichi Sakamoto or Hans Zimmer, but with that distinct hip-hop edge. He has seen the tops of the stadiums and the frenzy of the crowds, and now, at this stage in his life, his soul craves something markedly different from the flashing lights. His ideal American woman in 2026 is the embodiment of the Pacific Northwest indie soul. Forget the glitz of Hollywood or the rush of Wall Street. We are traveling to the misty, rain-soaked landscapes of Seattle, Portland, or perhaps a secluded cabin on the Oregon coast. This woman is the human equivalent of a warm cup of whiskey on a rainy Tuesday night, complex, comforting, and intoxicatingly deep. Why is this specific American archetype the key to unlocking Suga's heart in 2026? Because Yoongi, in his 30s, values peace above all else, and this woman understands the profound beauty of silence. She isn't chasing clout. She's likely deeply immersed in her own craft. Perhaps she's an independent songwriter who plays acoustic sets in small, dimly lit coffee shops, a moody novelist working on her next bestseller, or an architect designing sustainable homes in the mountains. She embodies that rugged, authentic American individualism that cares more about substance than appearance. Picture the aesthetic. She wears oversized flannel shirts, vintage denim, and minimal makeup, radiating a natural beauty that doesn't try too hard. She is the type of woman who loves the rain, who finds comfort in the gray skies that characterize the Pacific Northwest, mirroring the often introspective weather of Yoongi's own heart. The connection here is cerebral and spiritual. In 2026, Yoongi doesn't want to explain his exhaustion. He wants someone who can look at him and just know. This American woman offers him a sanctuary. Imagine their life together. It's a long weekend getaway to a wooden A-frame cabin deep in the Washington forests. The only sounds are the crackling of firewood and the rain hitting the glass. He is in the corner tinkering with a bead on his laptop, and she's on the sofa reading a book or sketching. They haven't spoken a word for 3 hours, yet they have never felt more connected. This is the parallel play love language that Yoongi desperately needs. She respects his work mode, not as a fan, but as a fellow creative who understands that flow state is sacred. But don't mistake her quietness for weakness. This American woman is fiercely independent. She challenges him intellectually, debating the nuances of music philosophy, the state of the global industry, or the ethics of art with a sharp Western perspective that broadens his horizons. She introduces him to obscure American folk records, drags him to hidden vinyl shops where no one recognizes him, and takes him on long, silent hikes where the physical exertion replaces the need for conversation. She grounds him. When the weight of being Suga of BTS gets too heavy, she reminds him that he is just a human who likes tangerines and basketball. She doesn't treat him like porcelain, she treats him like a man. This relationship is stripped of all pretense. It's raw, it's real, and it's built on a foundation of mutual respect for privacy. In a world that is constantly screaming for attention, she is his quiet harbor, the one person with whom he can fully unmask and just breathe. She represents the side of America that is vast, wild, and quiet, the perfect countermelody to the chaotic symphony of his life. Number 4. RM, The Brooklyn Art Curator, a masterpiece of mind and soul. We have arrived at the halfway mark, number 4, and the atmosphere shifts from the quiet forests of the Northwest to the intellectual, buzzing cobblestone streets of the East Coast, where we find the fearless leader, the philosopher king of K-pop, Kim Namjoon, also known as RM. By 2026, RM isn't just a musician, he is a global cultural icon, a patron of the arts, and a man whose intellect is as formidable as his stage presence. He has spent his 30s exploring the depths of human emotion and the heights of artistic expression, and consequently, his ideal American partner has evolved into someone who can meet him in the library just as easily as the recording studio. His heart in 2026 belongs to the archetype of the Brooklyn Art Curator. We are zooming in on the trendy intellectual hubs of Dumbo, Williamsburg, or perhaps a historic brownstone in Brooklyn Heights. This woman is the personification of dark academia meets modern American chic. She isn't impressed by the flash of cameras. She is impressed by the stroke of a brush, the turn of a phrase, and the depth of a conversation. Why is this specific American woman the ultimate match for Namjoon in this era? Because in 2026, RM craves a sapiosexual connection, an attraction rooted deeply in the mind. He needs a verbal sparring partner, someone who can debate the nuances of abstract expressionism with him over a pour-over coffee in a dusty, independent bookstore. Picture her. She wears vintage trench coats, tortoiseshell glasses that slide down her nose as she reads, and carries a canvas tote bag filled with books on philosophy and art history. She radiates an effortless intellectual cool that is quintessentially New York, but without the pretension. The chemistry here is electric, fueled not just by romance, but by a shared curiosity about the world. Imagine their dates in 2026. They are not hiding in VIP sections of clubs. They are cycling through the streets of Brooklyn on a crisp autumn afternoon, blending in with the locals. They spend weekends taking the train upstate to visit the Dia Beacon or Storm King Art Center, wandering through massive sculptures in silence, communicating only through glances that say, "Do you feel this too?" She is the woman who introduces him to obscure American poets, who corrects his already perfect English with charming local slang, and who isn't afraid to challenge his worldview. In this relationship, she is the curator of his heart. She understands that behind the god of destruction and the charismatic leader is a man who sometimes feels lonely at the top. She offers him a grounding reality, a life where they can order takeout Thai food and watch documentaries until 3 a.m., dissecting every scene. She is independent, likely running her own gallery or working on a PhD, which drives Namjoon wild because he admires ambition and intelligence above all else. She doesn't need him to be RM, she needs him to be Namjoon, the guy who loves crabs and bonsai trees. This American woman brings a texture to his life that he can't find anywhere else, a mixture of grit, intellect, and artistic passion that mirrors the complexity of his own soul. She validates his love for Namjooning by doing it right beside him, turning every walk down the street into a poetic adventure. It's a love story written in the margins of books and painted on the canvas of a shared life, proving that for RM in 2026, the sexiest thing a woman can possess is a beautiful mind that challenges his own.
Number 3. Jimin, the elegant Malibu muse, a wave of pure romance. Entering the top 3, the atmosphere softens, shifting from the intellectual streets of New York and the gritty beats of LA to a realm of pure, unadulterated romance. We are talking about the angel of the group, the man who possesses a duality that can bring the world to its knees, the cutie, sexy, lovely, who has matured into a figure of breathtaking elegance in 2026, Park Jimin. By this time, Jimin has shed the last remnants of his youthful insecurities. He stands tall, a global ambassador for luxury fashion, a solo artist who has defined his own genre of sensual pop, and a man who knows exactly what he wants. And what he wants in 2026 is a love that feels like a warm embrace after a long winter. His ideal American woman is the breathtaking archetype of the elegant Malibu muse.
We are transporting you to the Golden Coast of California, but not the chaotic tourist traps. We're headed to the secluded, pristine sands of Malibu, where the ocean meets the sky in a haze of pastel colors. This woman is the personification of a living fairy tale. She exudes a softness that disarms him instantly, yet she possesses a quiet, luxurious strength that commands respect. Why does this specific American archetype rank so high for Jimin? Because deep down, Jimin is a romantic to his core, and he craves the emotional openness that is culturally distinct to the American spirit. In Korea, public displays of affection can be reserved, but this Malibu muse, she breaks those barriers. She is the woman who isn't afraid to run into his arms at the airport, who holds his hand firmly while walking down Rodeo Drive, and who showers him with the verbal affirmation he thrives on. Picture her. She is effortlessly chic, likely dressed in flowy, high-end fabrics, think linen and silk that catch the ocean breeze, channeling a vibe that is halfway between a classic Hollywood starlet and a modern wellness guru. She might be a successful interior designer who creates sanctuaries for others, or a philanthropist organizing galas for the arts. She matches Jimin's aesthetic perfection. When they stand together, they look like a walking editorial for a high-end fashion house. But it's not just about looks. In 2026, Jimin seeks a healer. After years of pushing his body to the limit with intense choreography and the pressures of fame, he needs a partner who offers a soft landing. This American woman provides a sanctuary of calm. Imagine their life, weekends spent at her minimalist, glass-walled beach house, waking up to the sound of crashing waves. There is no schedule, no cameras, just the two of them cooking breakfast barefoot in the kitchen. She is the type who drags him out for a sunrise yoga session on the deck, teaching him to breathe, to slow down, to just be Park Jimin, not the idol. The chemistry here is built on deep emotional vulnerability. Jimin has always been the listener, the comforter for his members, but this woman turns the tables. She nurtures him. She listens to his worries about artistry and aging with an empathetic American ear, offering perspectives that are optimistic and freeing. She introduces him to the joy of the American coastal lifestyle. Long drives on the Pacific Coast Highway with the top down, the wind tangling their hair as they sing along to old ballads, wine tasting in the rolling hills of Napa Valley where they can get tipsy and giggle without judgment. There is a playfulness to her that unlocks his mischievous side. She doesn't treat him like a porcelain doll. She teases him, she chases him into the waves, she makes him laugh until his eyes disappear into those signature crescents. Yet she also understands the dark side of the moon. When the melancholy hits, she doesn't try to fix it, she just holds him. In 2026, this relationship represents the ultimate freedom for Jimin. It's the freedom to love loudly, to be touched, to be adored openly without the constraints of traditional expectations. She validates his masculinity and his sensitivity in equal measure. She is his biggest fan, not of his music, but of his heart. She is the woman who decorates their home with warm lights and fresh flowers, creating the lovely atmosphere he has always dreamed of. This connection is visceral, tactile, and incredibly intimate. She is his safe harbor in the vast Pacific, the one person who makes the massive, overwhelming world of the United States feel like a cozy, intimate bedroom. For Jimin, this Malibu muse isn't just a lover, she is the happy ending to the fairy tale he has been writing in his head for years, proving that in 2026, his heart belongs to the woman who can make him feel like he is the only man in the world.
Number 2. V. The Vintage Jazz Muse, a symphony of soul and mystery. We are now holding our breath as we step into the runner-up position, approaching a man whose very existence feels like a cinematic masterpiece captured on vintage film. The one and only Kim Taehyung, known to the world as V.
In the landscape of 2026, V has transcended the boundaries of a typical K-pop idol to become a living icon of art, jazz, and soulful expression. He has fully metamorphosed into the jazz crooner he was always destined to be, exuding an aura of timeless mystery that is both intimidating and irresistibly drawing. He isn't just looking for a girlfriend, he is searching for a co-star in the beautiful, sepia-toned movie of his life. His ideal American woman in this futuristic era is nothing short of a walking piece of art. She is the Vintage Jazz Muse. We are leaving the modern skyscrapers behind and descending into the atmospheric, gaslit streets of the French Quarter in New Orleans, or perhaps the historic, bohemian alleyways of Greenwich Village in New York City. This woman is an anomaly in the modern world. She is an old soul trapped in the frenetic energy of 2026 America, and that displacement is exactly what magnetizes Taehyung to her. Why is this specific, nostalgic American archetype the only one who can capture the heart of V? Because in 2026, Taehyung is bored by the ordinary. He has seen all the glitz, all the trends, and all the superficial beauty the world has to offer. He craves uniqueness, a distinct, unreplicable character that feels like a rare, limited edition vinyl record in a world of digital streaming. Picture her. She doesn't follow trends, she sets a mood. She might be wearing a thrifted 1950s dress with a classic red lip, or oversized men's trousers with a beret, carrying a film camera instead of the latest smartphone. She is likely a creative spirit, a jazz vocalist with a smoky voice performing in hidden speakeasies, a painter who stains her hands with oils in a sun-drenched loft, or a writer typing on a vintage typewriter. She embodies the main character energy of a classic romance novel. The chemistry here is atmospheric and slow-burning. In a fast-paced American dating culture that relies on swipes and instant gratification, she is the pause button. She challenges the speed of his life. Imagine their first meeting in 2026. It's not at a loud party, it's in a dusty antique shop in Chicago. He is looking for a rare trumpet, and she is there inspecting an old painting. Their eyes meet, and it's not a spark, it's a recognition. She speaks to him with a slow, deliberate cadence, perhaps with a slight, charming American regional accent, maybe the soft drawl of the South or the articulate rhythm of the East Coast that sounds like music to his ears. She doesn't ask for a selfie, she asks him what song describes his current mood. This American woman offers him a digital detox love. Their dates are masterpieces of romance, picnics in Central Park at sunset where they paint each other's portraits, late-night slow dances in her living room to the crackle of Chet Baker records, or impromptu road trips to see the vast, starry skies of the American Midwest where they can spot UFOs and talk about the existence of aliens until dawn. She validates his eccentricity. When V wants to do something weird or unconventional, she doesn't just tolerate it, she joins him. She is the one who will wear a matching, majestic costume with him for no reason other than it's Tuesday. She understands that Taehyung communicates through vibes, through music, and through silence. In 2026, the American aspect of her personality is crucial because it brings a sense of bold, unapologetic individuality. She doesn't care what people think, a trait V admires deeply. She protects his peace ferociously. She creates a world where V of BTS doesn't exist, only Kim Taehyung, the boy who loves strawberries, Yentan, and winter, exists. She nurtures his inner child while stimulating his mature artistic mind. This relationship is filled with grand, romantic gestures that feel like they belong in the 1920s. Handwritten letters sent across the ocean, bouquets of wildflowers picked by hand, and long, philosophical conversations about the meaning of happiness. She is his muse in every sense of the word, the woman who inspires his next jazz album, the face he draws in his sketchbooks, and the soul that finally makes his unique, colorful world feel understood. She represents the beauty of the past living in the present, a timeless love that proves that for V in 2026, the ultimate ideal type is a woman who makes reality feel like a dream he never wants to wake up from. Number 1. Jungkook, the fearless LA rebel muse, a ride or die for the Golden King. And here we are, at the absolute pinnacle of our list. The air is thinning, the anticipation is suffocating, and the world is watching because we have reached the final throne. We are talking about the Golden Maknae, who grew up before our very eyes to become the Golden King of the global pop industry. He is the man who can do it all: sing, dance, paint, box, and break the internet with a single photo. By 2026, he isn't just a member of BTS, he is a standalone cultural phenomenon, a symbol of modern masculinity that blends strength with stunning vulnerability. But here is the question that haunts every forum and group chat. Who on earth can handle the sheer magnitude of Jungkook? Who is the woman brave enough to sit on the back of his motorcycle as he speeds through the next chapter of his life? Is she a delicate flower, or is she a firestorm? Does she need protection, or is she the one protecting him? We are looking for a match for infinite stamina, a partner for a man who lives life at 100 miles per hour, and a soulmate for a heart that loves deeper and harder than anyone else. The answer is unexpected, it is electric, and it redefines modern romance. Are you ready to meet the woman who claims the #1 spot? Take a deep breath, because this final reveal is about to set your standards on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the summit, the #1 spot, dedicated to the man who defies gravity and expectations, the eternal center, Jungkook. By 2026, Jungkook has fully stepped into his power as a global rock star. The days of the shy boy are long gone. Standing before us is a man of tattoos, piercings, and an aura of raw, unfiltered confidence that rivals the biggest icons in history. He has conquered the Billboard 100 multiple times. He has become the face of global fashion campaigns, and he has lived a life faster than most people can dream. Consequently, his ideal American woman in this futuristic era is the ultimate cool girl archetype, the fearless LA rebel muse. We are zooming into the gritty, neon-lit boulevards of West Hollywood, or the creative industrial lofts of downtown Los Angeles. This woman is not a damsel in distress, she is a force of nature. She matches his energy beat for beat, sweat for sweat, and ink for ink. Why does this specific bold American archetype take the crown for Jungkook in 2026? Because Jungkook needs a ride or die. He needs a partner who isn't just watching his life from the sidelines, but is actively running the race beside him. Picture her. She exudes an effortless, tomboy chic aesthetic that drives him absolutely wild. Oversized vintage band tees, ripped black denim, combat boots, and maybe a few tattoos of her own that tell her life story. She is likely deeply embedded in the creative scene, perhaps a talented tattoo artist, a drummer in an underground rock band, or a high-profile video game developer. She speaks the language of Gen Z American culture fluently. She understands the memes, the slang, and the digital landscape, but she doesn't live for it. The connection here is kinetic and physical. In 2026, Jungkook craves a relationship that is active. Imagine their dates. They aren't sitting in stiff restaurants, they're at a private boxing gym in Santa Monica at 2 a.m., sparring together, sweating, laughing, pushing each other to the limit. She is the woman who can hold the mitts for him, who challenges him to do one more set, who understands that physical exertion is how he clears his mind. Or picture them on the weekends, the roar of engines tearing down the Pacific Coast Highway. He's on his custom bike and she's right there next to him on her own vintage motorcycle, or perhaps driving a classic American muscle car leading the way. She loves speed just as much as he does. This shared adrenaline is their love language. But peel back the layers of leather and grit, and you find a domestic softness that is exclusively theirs. This American woman is the home he has been searching for. She is the one who understands his love for cooking. Imagine a rainy night in her LA loft. They are in the kitchen, experimenting with a fusion of Korean ramyeon and American comfort food, filming silly TikToks that will never be posted, just for the memories. She isn't afraid to eat, to laugh loudly, to be unpolished. She validates his duality, the superstar versus the goofy, introverted boy. In 2026, Jungkook values privacy intensely, and this woman is a vault. She protects their bubble ferociously from the prying eyes of the paparazzi. She calls him out when he's being stubborn. She challenges him in video games, and maybe even beats him, which makes him fall in love even harder. And she introduces him to the freedom of American anonymity. She takes him to 24-hour diners where they can eat pancakes at 4 a.m., or to underground music gigs where they can mosh in the crowd unnoticed. She represents the ultimate liberation. She is confident enough to let him shine, but independent enough to have her own world that he is desperate to be a part of. She is his best friend, his lover, and his partner in crime. This relationship is electric, passionate, and deeply modern. It's a love story that feels like a high-budget music video, stylish, fast-paced, and impossibly cool. She is the only woman who can look the Golden King in the eye and not blink, proving that for Jungkook in 2026, the ultimate ideal type is the woman who makes him feel most alive, the one who is willing to ride with him until the very end of the world.
And there you have it, Army, a breathtaking odyssey into the secret chambers of BTS's hearts in the year 2026. We have traveled from the high-rise luxury of Manhattan with Jin to the sun-soaked rebellious streets of Los Angeles with Jungkook, uncovering a truth that is as beautiful as it is undeniable. The boys we watched grow up have become men who know exactly what they want. This countdown wasn't just about romance, it was a psychological map of their evolution. We saw how RM's intellect craves a curator, how Jimin's weary soul seeks a healer in Malibu, and how V's vintage spirit needs a timeless muse to stop the clock. These 7 American archetypes represent more than just ideal types. They represent the missing puzzle pieces in their extraordinary lives. As they stand at the pinnacle of the global music industry, their search for love has shifted from simple attraction to deep, soul-shaking connection. A search for partners who are their equals, their sanctuaries, and their co-pilots in this wild journey of stardom. Now, the ultimate question turns to you. As you listen to these descriptions, did you feel a spark of recognition? Are you the sophisticated CEO meant for Jin, the quiet indie soul destined for Suga, or perhaps the fearless rider ready to take on the world with Jungkook? Which member's 2026 maturity shocked you the most, and which love story do you think is written in the stars? Do not keep those thoughts to yourself. We want to see a war in the comments section. Tell us exactly which archetype describes you and why you are the perfect match for that member. Smash that like button if you believe in their happiness. Share this video with an army who needs to hear this, and make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on, because we're only scratching the surface of the BTS universe. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep streaming, and remember, in the world of Bangtan, love is the only metric that truly matters. This has been your exclusive look into the future. Signing off.